That's how Zakiah came along. Woo! I told him. And when I was homeless, it was on. I'm sorry, y'all. It was. Okay, if anybody watching this, this is not tears of sadness. This is tears of joy. This is tears of over how I overcame.
Welcome to the Tell 'em Tage podcast. My name is Antoine Haynes. I'm a lead producer here at Icon Industries, and I have the honor to sit and talk with Mrs. Michelle Brown. She wanted me to point that out. She said she's
yes, sir.
Mrs. Michelle Brown, aka Mamma TAGE, here today. How are you doing?
Oh, speak. I'm nervous. No, I'm good. I'm good. Okay. I'm blessed and highly favored.
That's great. I'm glad. Now, I met Mamma TAGE a few weeks ago at her son, Tage or Darrell, whatever one, his grand opening for Culture 2 in Vista, California. And there she shared a little bit. She started to share a little bit about her story with me. And I was like, you know what? At that moment, I'm like, we got to get you down at the studio. I think this would be a great opportunity for us to sit and chat. Because as we are learning more about Tage, who else will give us that insight and can give us that background information that we just don't know than his own mother? So tell me about yourself.
Okay, who am I? I am a child of God, first of all. I'm a wife. I'm a mother. I'm a great-grandmother. I'm a retiree.
Nice.
Worked 25 years at UCSD.
Nice.
Yes, same one job.
Okay. What was that job?
I was a food service. I was worked in food service.
Okay, awesome. Nice.
I started washing dishes and I worked my way up to management.
Awesome. That's cool. That's cool. Tage mentioned that to me a little bit. You did actually as well at the grand opening. Give me a little bit about your background. Tell me a little bit about your family, your growing up, and everything.
Really?
Yeah.
Hey, a little bit about my background. My background is I was a drug addict.
Okay.
I was a drug addict for 23 years.
Okay.
Before that, I grew up with 7 siblings, 5 brothers, 5 brothers and 2 sisters. And now today it's just 4 brothers and 1 sister remaining.
Okay. Praise
God. Sorry. So, and when I was little, I was quiet. I was shy. My older sister told me I didn't speak. And now she said I can't shut up. So when God wants you to speak, you speak. When he don't, you don't.
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
That's the way I see it.
Yep.
I don't know what to say about me. Today I'm clean and sober, 25 years. So somebody might saw me take a cup of champagne once in a now and then, but I'm still clean and sober. And that's my truth.
Right. That's awesome. That's awesome. That seems like a pretty struggling, or that's an interesting struggle for you to have to overcome.
Yes.
What allowed you to get past that? You said you were going through that for over 2 decades.
What allowed me to get past that? So all I can say is God. But I know when I was out there in the streets, I thought that was my lot in life. Because God allowed me to be out there in the streets, to be homeless, to be in dangerous situations, and God still kept me.
Nice, yes.
And to people out there who's struggling and whatever, if you still here today, God got his hand on you. And no matter what, no matter how late in life, you still gonna, if God got a plan for you, which he does have a plan for everybody.
Right.
So all you got to do is just keep on doing what you're doing, and sooner or later, God gonna snatch you up.
Okay.
Because I have a lot of friends who's dead and gone. I have a lot of friends who's got a lot of illness and different paralysis and stuff like that. I'm healthy and whole.
That's great.
So I was out there in the streets, and like I said, God snatched me up. And when he snatched me up, I used to always lie and tell my kids, oh, I want to get clean and sober. I want to get clean and sober just to come inside when I had nowhere else to go.
Gotcha.
And so this last time, my son said, he looked at me, he said, My mama dead and gone.
Oh gosh.
Because one time my son told me, he said, Mama, how can I sleep at night when I don't know if you got a place to sleep? He said, how can I eat when I don't know if you got food to eat? He said, you stresses me out when we watch the news and they find dead black woman in the gutter.
Oh gosh.
And we don't know if that's you or not.
Mm-hmm.
And then he said that we can't go through this no more. And my oldest son said, I have a family now.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't go through this no more. And then so the last time I went to my son's house, he said, you ain't coming here?
Mm-hmm.
I said, I have nowhere else to go this now. He said, so? He said, my mama dead and gone. And then I went to he finally let me in. So I was at my son's house, and I would tell my son that I'm calling to go to rehab and this and that.
Yeah.
And then my son would have me watch his 2 children. And watching his 2 children, my son come home at 7 o'clock at night, and he said, Mama, he said, you ain't fooling nobody. I don't think ass is a cursing word. But he said, Mama, I got these 2 badass kids, and I come home at 7 o'clock at night and the house clean. He said, no. He said, I know you. You sleep all day, and then you get up when it's time for me to come home, and it's not. So, and then I told him I'll be calling rehab, and he'll check the phone.
Right.
You ain't called nobody and this and that. He said, Mama, you got one more chance. Mm-hmm. So we went to San Diego at the Salvation Army.
Okay.
And so I go into the intake office, and my oldest son, sitting on the outside. Mm-hmm. And the man said, you ready to go to rehab? I said, yeah. I said, no. But I said, yeah, so my son could hear. The rehab man told me, get the hell out of his office. He said, you ain't ready. This place is for people who need it. So my son said, Mama, I'm not taking you back. I'm leaving you right here in San Diego. So I promised him that I would get myself together.
That's great.
So I called rehab, and they finally had a bed for me and this and that. And my son, Tage Darrell, took me. And when he took me to San Diego, the whole time driving from Vista to San Diego, Darrell ain't said a word to me.
Oh, man.
He dropped me off. I had a duffel bag, the Marine duffel bag. Mm-hmm. He dropped me off. He took the duffel bag and put the duffel bag on the side of the road. I got out the car. He got back in the car, and he left. He didn't say a word to me.
Oh, wow.
The whole time I was in rehab, he didn't say nothing to me. Mm-hmm. I got out of rehab. My oldest son started hanging out with me because I couldn't handle money. So my oldest son, I should give him my paycheck.
Okay.
And then one time my oldest son did not come on time. I started handling my own money. But Tage, it took him about 6 months or so before he finally even said anything to me.
Gotcha, yeah.
Yeah. And now today, one of my best friends.
Yeah, that's great.
And I asked my son, I said, do you trust me? He said, Mom, I trust you now. Mm-hmm. I said, Mama, do you love me? I said, do you love me? He said, yeah, I love you. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's me. Mm-hmm. So today, I'm blessed to have everybody into my life. Because back in the day, nobody wanted me around. Mm-hmm. But today, it's like every time something's going on, everybody's pulling me left, right. Everybody loves me. Everybody wants me. Everybody call me mama. And it's like everybody's so proud of me. And everybody see that what I didn't see.
Right.
But now today, I can hold my head up high. Mm-hmm. I can look in the mirror, and I say, I am perfectly made by God.
That's great. When you say everybody can see what you didn't see, when you were going through all of that, what would you say you were that struggle? Because I assume it has to be an internal struggle with yourself,
yes,
right? So what did you see that in yourself? While everybody else was saying what you could be, the promise that could, and what what God could have had in store for you, what were you looking at when you saw yourself?
When I saw myself, I saw a drug addict. I saw a streetwalker. I saw nobody. That's what I saw.
Yeah.
So I could not forgive myself because my mother passed away and I did not go to her funeral.
Okay.
I chose drugs over my own mother's funeral. Okay. I chose drugs over my own kids. So it's like I was a nothing. I was a nobody.
Yeah. When I sat down with Tage, he shared a little bit about what he kind of like how he was going down a path that would have been not too far off from where you were, not necessarily in that exact same position, but he talked about, dabbling a little bit. What do you call it? Being on the left side of the law. That's what he called it. The left side of the law, having a checkered past, having to switch things up. Do you think that, because I'm a believer that if you went through something, or everybody struggles and everything that you may have been through in life, that sets you up for who you are now, right? You battle with the drug addiction and everything like that, but now And you keep telling me you were shy and quiet and everything like that. I've yet to see that at all.
I am a very shy, quiet person. I really am.
But hey, it is what it is. But you know, when you brought out of situations and everything, when you overcome those things, it is that you are new. So it is important to to make that distinction. But do you think that watching you go through those things or that situation and not having that balance that would have been good for him at that point, do you think that caused him to start to go down those roads?
I think our family dynamics caused him to do the things that he used to do. Mm-hmm. And I used to always tell Darrell, like I said in the last podcast, where he got caught stealing out of Mervers. I told Darrell, I said, that's not you. Mm-hmm. I said, look at everybody else in this and that. Look at everybody older than you in this and that. Look at everything they do in this and that. So you going to come in and do the same thing?
And at that point, you were still dealing with your own struggle.
I was still dealing with my own struggles.
Yeah. It's always amazing to me how, like, people can be, you can be dealing with something in your life, but you look at the people that you care about and you're like, don't follow my footsteps. Yes. Don't go down the same roads, the same path that I have, when you want more for them. Yes. So now you're watching him now as a business owner. Like, I was looking at his Instagram page yesterday, and he's looking around where he may want to open up his next location for Culture 3. Right?
Culture 3, baby.
And so so it's like, that has to be an amazing thing for you to see and accomplish. Tell me a little bit about, because you have Darrell, and then I met his older brother
Dale.
His older brother Dale, which he's an interesting character as well.
Oh, yes.
I never forget, we were sitting there. I know he knew we were right there because he was about 10 feet away. But I'm sitting there interviewing one of the guys at the grand opening, and he literally just starts laughing and talking and everything like that right in the background. I kind of just look at him like, really, man? And he's like, oh, sorry, bro. Sorry. I was like, all right, man, sure. But tell me a little bit about them two growing up.
Them two growing up is like salt and pepper.
Oh yeah,
it's like salt and pepper. It's like day and night.
Oh really?
They are very opposite. Darrell reminds me more of his father.
Okay.
Dale reminds me more of me. We got no tissue around here.
I got something.
Darrell reminds me more of his father, and so we so as them growing up. I'm sorry, y'all. So them growing up. Darrell was very quiet and shy. Dale was more outgoing. When they was little, I used to make them eat whatever I fixed in this now.
Right.
And Darrell would not eat his food. You sitting at that table.
That was an option? I didn't know that was an option not to do that.
Darrell sit at that table till you done. No, Dale would go eat his food so he can get up from the table. Dale was the protector. Dale was the protector. Like I said, I was a drug addict, so because Darrell played basketball. Okay. Darrell was very good at playing basketball, and he used to always run around the house hitting the top of the ledge, jumping. If you don't stop that, so Darrell could not get in no trouble. He couldn't get in no trouble. Okay. Dale, he always was in trouble.
Right. Because Dale was taking the trouble from
Dale was taking trouble from Darrell. When it was time to do some work in this now, I got a headache, Darrell. I got a headache. I got a headache. But yeah, still, as soon as everything is done, he good to go then. Okay, Darrell say nothing is off limits. So I used to tell him to take a bath. Darrell would go in the bathroom, come right back out the bathroom. Oh, wow. Darrell, you did not take a bath. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. So then he got smart. He'll go in the bathroom, run the bathtub water, he'll just splash the water. You still didn't take a bath.
Oh, man, that's funny.
That's Darrell.
That's funny.
So, but when they was growing up in this and that, then, like I said, I was a drug addict, and they did not really know because I still had a roof over my head, and I still kept them in the house. Okay. Darrell used to play basketball. So when Darrell was playing basketball, he was getting a 2.0 average. Oh, wow. I never even kept up with his work or grades, whatever it's not. You bring your report card home, okay, and it's not. Yeah. Like I said, I was in my addiction, so, none of that really fazed me or whatever it's not. All I know is you was getting out of here going to school.
Right, exactly.
So you was getting out of here going to school. He was going to school. But yet still he was playing basketball. He was very, very, very good at basketball. And I took him out of basketball. And his coach came and talked to me. And I told the coach, I said, no, I don't care how good he is. That he cannot play basketball because he's failing in school.
Yeah.
So no, my kids is going to be better than me. And like they said, parents of drug addict parents have kids, drug addict parents, they follow in their footsteps. No, it's going to stop somewhere.
Right.
We're going to stop this. So that's they growing up. And then when he was like 16 or something like that, he was still in school or whatever it's not. But that's when my oldest son actually found out, because I had it kept hid well. My oldest son actually found out that I was really doing drugs. I was really deep into drugs and this and that. And my oldest son, he already had his child. And he was living with his family. Yeah. And he took Darrell and made sure Darrell went to school. I think Darrell did some college. I think. So, and then when he took him, he made sure he went to school. This and that. That gave me freedom to not keep a roof over my head. Right. So then I just gave up everything and just decided to be homeless. Wow. And when I was homeless, it was on. I'm sorry, y'all. It was. It was. And then my husband that I have today, we was out there in the streets together and this and that, but we was never together. Yeah. We was out there in the streets together and this and that. Then
wilding out in the streets
30 years later, here we is, man and wife.
That's good, you know, bring you through. That's amazing. Yes. I mean, all it does is it shows how, like, no matter how much of a struggled or I would say, for the lack of a better word, tainted background or anything like that, if you stay to it, if you put your mind to it, you can overcome it. Yes. You know, you press for it and everything like that. Now, so tell me, what are you up to now? You know, you overcame, obviously you're retired, but you're not really retired in the sense of you're retired just kicking your feet up. Yeah. You're retired, but you're up to something else. What are you up to now?
Right now, what I'm up to is I'm up to Team TAGE. So Team TAGE, and we have we sell T-shirts. So me and my husband sell T-shirts. We sell earrings. We just sell stuff.
Okay.
So
what kind of T-shirts?
It's all Christian T-shirts.
Okay.
Like all I'm saying, God got my back on the back, or Jesus got my back on the back.
That's what you got on right now.
That's
no weapon formed against me shall prosper.
That's right. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. That's right.
Okay.
So that's what we up to now. And
why the Christian T-shirts?
Because my husband told me he had a dream of WWAJ 22, and so WWAJ 22 is William, Andre, and Justin, his family.
Ah, okay.
Hey, I'm not in there. Where me at? You know, I like to be up in the air of things.
Okay.
So I'm not up in there. So, but he kept having this dream. He said this is what he wanted to do. He wanted to open a T-shirt business. It's like, okay, whatever.
Right.
You know, I don't listen. And then he kept saying it over and over and over again. So if you keep saying it,
right, and
you put it out there in the atmosphere, God gonna bring it to pass. And I think it was 2015, 16, 17, one of them years, we actually made it happen. Nice. And then it was going well into the pandemic. Then when the pandemic came, it started going slow. That's when the Black Lives Matter stuff came out. So we started doing them T-shirts.
Okay.
And we're just entrepreneur.
Nice.
And I go with whatever is trending. Whatever is trending to keep myself busy.
Okay.
And I used to do these T-shirts before Tage did. Okay. And then once he opened up his shop, I say, let's start putting some T-shirts in here. Yeah. And then he started putting Tage stuff in there.
Wait, hold on. Let's take a step back, because I got to figure out something now. Was the idea of the culture branded merch from you?
No.
Okay.
Then, you know, Darrell used to be Contagious. That was his stage name. He used to be a rapper.
Okay.
Contagious. And so, I don't know who that man is, one of them singers or whatever. He came out with that song Contagious. So, whatever that, he's the singer.
Okay.
Yeah, he's handsome, whatever his name is. But anyway.
Is it Antoine?
No, it's a come on, Antoine. I just had to put it in there. Come on, Antoine. But now it's I don't know who it is. But anyway, so now he came out with Tage.
Okay.
So he came out with Tage, and he was a rapper. He was singing. He was out here hustling and bag it all the way up. Oh, well, I'll tell you this story in a minute.
Okay.
But he was a hustler. I mean, he was singing and this and that, and it's like he had a daughter. Mm-hmm. And once he had a daughter, he stopped doing what he was doing.
Right.
I said, yeah, because your daughter is going to watch what you're doing.
Right, exactly.
That's right. And I told him, I said, you're going to have a daughter? And I said, she's going to put you through hell. I said, that's exactly what's going to happen.
Oh, man.
And she's not putting him through hell, but he take care of his daughter. I am very proud of him.
Yeah. I met her the other at the grand opening. Mm-hmm. She's an interesting little woman. Let me see, I've known Tage for 4 years. How old is her daughter? His daughter, 12 years old?
You know Tage for 4 years.
Yeah.
And never saw me?
No, so I knew of him more so because I used to get my hair cut by him.
Oh.
So... yeah, so we met at the spot when he was.
Oh, the spot. Yeah, I remember that.
And then then when he opened up Culture and then obviously Culture 2 and all that kind of stuff. So I've known him because it was funny. I just happened to get recommended a barber shop and then he was the first one to cut my hair at that barber shop. And I was like, all right, cool. And he did it quick. And I was like, he did that kind of fast. Let's see if it's any good. And then he did the, chair spin. And I look in the mirror and I'm like, okay, cool. I don't know if you caught the first interview, but the second time that I went there, it was a completely different experience from the first time I went there. This first time I went there, it was all like, all right, man, I'll get to you. Yeah, we talking, we chatting and everything. Everything was good. Next time I go there, he was like, hey, good to see you, man. He was finishing up cutting somebody's hair, and he said, hey, do you think you can, are you cool if I run to the back real quick? I haven't eaten anything all day. I just need 5 minutes. I got some food in the back. And I was like, oh, yeah, sure, no problem. It took him like 15 minutes to come back out there. Mm-hmm. He was in the back eating KFC chicken the entire time. I was like, dude, for real? I was cracking up. He still cut my hair and everything like that, but I never let him forget that. It's hilarious. But no, that's awesome. So you're an entrepreneur. Obviously, Tage is an entrepreneur. Your family and everything, you watching everything kind of come together. I know at a certain point you're looking, and it has to be something more, I guess. It has to be amazing to see essentially what can be done. If you don't give up, if you let God have his way in your life, you can things can change.
Things will change.
Things will change. I love that. A little positive. You just change that direction.
Things will change.
So how do you feel about the success that Tage has had? When you look back over, his past, your past, the deepest, darkest things about your family and everything like that. But you watch, and you watch so many people be supportive of him and everything like that. How does that make you feel when it comes down to it?
Words cannot explain how proud I am, how great I feel. I still worry about him though. I know he's my youngest son, and I just worry about him a lot. Yeah. And I let him know that says all these people supporting you and this and that. If they really supporting you, let them support you. Right. But everybody's not your friend.
Right, exactly.
Everybody's not your friend. Now you remember that. Everybody got their eyes on you, ain't for good.
Exactly.
So, but we try to, with his brand and my husband's brand, our brand, we trying to collaborate together.
Nice.
So just put this together because we are family.
Yeah.
So ain't no sense in you going your way and I go this way and this and that.
Yeah,
just come together.
Come together. It's family business. Yeah. I come from a family of entrepreneurs and business owners and everything. You got to support because nobody supports you like your own. Sometimes nobody supports you like a stranger. It depends, especially in our communities. People always want handouts and all that kind of stuff. You can't function with that. But yeah, if you guys market and everything is so close together. Yeah. It was funny. I didn't even know when I would see Kaya with the shirts or whatever like that on. I had no idea that was your business and your brand. Which I'm like, oh, that's great. I love it. Matter of fact, I want one myself.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm getting ready to get to you now.
Okay.
I ask anybody and everybody. That's how people start. That's how when them rappers used to have all them CDs out of the back of their trunk and this and that. You have to talk to people.
Right.
And yeah, I'm still shy though. But you have to talk to people. And it's like my husband would be walking down the street. Oh man, I like that shirt. This and that. And people pass by, I like that shirt. And I stop, hey, we got this, da, da, da. And my husband had to say, thank you.
Yeah.
No, I got this shirt. Then they tell me, oh, I wish you had that in my size. I said, come here. I got it right here in the car. Come on. I was in the bank and I sold this man 2 shirts.
Hey, that's
sure did.
That's
See, God works good because this man, he wanted 2 shirts, but he only had enough for 1 shirt. So I asked I said, hey, baby, hand me that shirt so I can have him that shirt and this that. So when I handed him the shirt, I accidentally handed him 2 shirts because God wanted him to have 2 shirts.
Hey, that's awesome.
Yeah, God is in control of everything. Put him ahead of your life, you'll be just fine.
Exactly.
God don't make no mistakes. And all I know is that I am a living testimony of how good God, his greatness, because I was down in the gutter.
Right.
And my downfall was, because I used to be homeless. My son, my oldest son, had got an apartment for me to live in. I turned it to a crack house where everybody was living there, and I stayed on the streets. I literally kept living on the streets.
Wow.
It was just, I thought that's what I was supposed to do. And people say, oh, you 30-something years old, and you still out here and all this and all that. But when them drugs get hold of you, you don't know no better. Them drugs will take over.
Right, exactly.
So, but when it's a stronghold, and when you finally get loose from that stronghold, I went to rehab. I went to Crash in San Diego. And if anybody know Crash, people say I'd rather go to jail than go there. But I went to Crash in San Diego, and then they told me I had to get a job. A job?
Yeah.
I said, what's a job? Then I got a job, washing dishes, and then I moved on up to handling the money. I used to steal money. Now you got me handling your money?
Yeah, you're trusting your money?
You got me trusted, and I was the only person there. Woo. So, but things just, I can't explain how things just work out. All I said, this God, I used to go to rehab meetings, and it's like, it didn't work out for me. But once I started going to church, and once I found that inner peace, and once I started doing positive affirmations,
right?
Because I used to have a pastor say, there's no ugly people. They're just less blessed looking people. So I thought I was one of them people.
Oh, gosh.
And I used to start looking in the mirror and do positive affirmations. Dust yourself off. Right. Hold your head up tall. Put one foot in front of the other. Hey. And God will lead you.
Exactly.
Because you don't know where you're going. But if you put them feet in front of the other.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
And so today it's like, life is good. Who would have thunk, if that's a word, who would have thunk that our life would turn out like this? Yeah. And I think that we have broken this generation, my generation, because I'm the baby girl. Okay. So my generation on, I think we have broken the curse. Because my kids, they smoke weed. But weed is legal. Yeah. But my kids do not do drugs. My kids is not out there gang banging and all this and stealing. Both my kids are very successful, and I'm proud of that. Nice. And he stays on top of his daughter. My son stay on top of his kids. That's good. Keep them busy.
Yeah, that's all you can wish for.
That's it.
Yeah. So I have a couple of questions for you,
and I have a few answers.
Okay. So when I talked to Tage, and I asked him, I said, how do you want this, because it was his initial idea for us to sit down and talk, right? He had told me that before I had even met you. He was like, you may want to end up talking to my mom in the future. And I was like, all right, cool. And then when I met you at the grand opening, I was sure I wanted to talk to you.
I'm so proud to sit here looking cute.
Nah, you're doing great. And I'm happy. And I'm so glad to have you here too. But there was a few questions about Tage that, different things that he heard, about his growing up that he's like, I don't know if this is true or not. Or just, that different people have told or whatever like that. So I have a few of them that I want to go over with you. Is it true or false that he went a whole decade without having a job?
Yeah, it's true. I remember when I was working. I have to elaborate on these. I was working, and so I used to always tell Darrell, because the last job he had, he was working at Big Lots.
Okay.
He's working at Big Lots for a minute, and he was the manager or something like that at Big Lots. Well, he was in management at Big Lots, and saying, next thing you know, he ain't working no more. Then next thing you know, he like him and his little friends out there trying to do rap and this and that. It's like, what? And I used to always tell him to get a job, get a job, get a job, get a job. And he said, Mama, how old was you when you started working? I said, I was 36. He said, well, I got a few more years to go in this and that. I said, you do not have a few more years to go in this and that.
Right.
I said, you need to get a job. I kept telling him to get a job, get a job, get a job, get a job. And then he ended up going to barber school. Barber school.
Yeah.
That ain't no job. Get you a job. But then when he ended up going to barber school, everything worked out.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay. So then, since you mentioned barber school, had he cut anybody's hair before going to barber school?
No, not that I know of.
Yeah.
Not cutting. Wait a minute. Maybe I can rephrase that. Cut anybody hair. Yeah, it's true. True. He cut people hair in this now, but it's just like your bald head.
Yeah.
You do the take all the hair off this now. Yeah.
Just take the one.
Yeah.
It just go all the way across.
But trying to be professional or trying to do it like to make it look awesome and this and that.
Mm-hmm. Nah,
if you're doing just a shave or whatever, it's that slick Rick, I call it.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now, he didn't have a job for about a decade. Mm-hmm. Is it true or false that he bought his first house at 28 with no job?
Yes. So he bought a house up in Marietta and this and that, because he was Marietta, Temecula, up in that area.
Yeah.
So, if anybody listening, y'all know what I'm talking about, up in that area.
Yeah.
So he was living in Vista and this and that.
Okay.
And so next thing I know, he said, Mom, I'm finna buy a house. You know, I do not listen to them because they just be talking. No, you ain't finna buy no house. Mom, I'm finna buy a house, this and that. So he did all the paperwork and this and that. He had a little money in this and that, just a little, because he used to have an Escalade. Them great big old Escalades, whatever.
I'm not surprised.
He sold a car. So, on a side note, all he do is sell cars, buy cars and sell them, buy Chevys and sell them, buy Chevys and sell them. But anyway, he after he sold that car, and he said, Mama, I'm finna buy a house. The next thing you know, he said, Mama, come on. And I went, and it was a nice house. And he said, Mama, this is mine. I hit the floor. My knees hit the floor, thanking God. I didn't pass out, y'all. My knees hit the floor, thanking God. And and this was his.
That's awesome.
Wow. Yeah. I said, you ain't got no job? Mama, don't worry about it.
Oh, gosh.
It's legal.
Okay.
Yes.
That's good. Okay. Next question for us. He bought a house, but he has a question here about him, true or false, of him living with 5 women.
Yes.
Please elaborate how he ends up in that situation.
Wait a minute, I got to sit up on this one. That's all he said, was he lived with 5 women.
That's all he said. He didn't give me the details, so I'm letting you fill it all in.
Nah,
now, of course, he said nothing's off limits.
Okay, nothing is off limits. Yeah, he lived with 5 hookers.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, they was out there hooking left and right.
Yeah.
He was out there with 5 hookers. Yes, he was. Yeah. They was all living up in the house and this and that. And that's how Zakiah came along. Woo! I told him, I said, Darrell, I said, all these people you got up in here and this and that. And I say, which one is yours and this and that? Mom, I ain't sleeping with none of these. I ain't sleeping with none of these. I ain't sleeping with none of these. I said, you keep on messing around with these little girls and this and that.
Right.
I said, you're going to end up getting one of these girls pregnant. Yeah. You're going to end up having a girl. And how would you like for somebody to treat your daughter?
Yeah, so, that's a reality.
How would you like for somebody to treat your daughter?
Yeah.
Because you're going to have a daughter. And sure enough, he had a baby. Yeah. And it was a girl. And it changed his life.
It sure did. It sure did. Man.
Touched my feelings a little bit, but it changed his life because she get more than I do. But he take good care of his daughter. I am so proud of him. Yes.
Okay. Now, he had a lot of questions about his living situations. Did he live with his basketball coach?
Way back in the day, yes.
Way back in the day.
Yes.
Okay. That's why? Why would he just live with his basketball coach? Was it that he just needed a place to stay, so it was like a temporary thing?
Probably because he needed a place to stay.
Okay.
Because like I said, my oldest son took him from me. He finished school and this and that. Once he finished school, he used to live with his cousin and his cousin baby mama. He used to live with them for a minute. And then he was living with Coach.
Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha.
So the answer is yes to that.
Okay.
And the reason was, I say because he needed a place to stay. Yeah. He needed a place to stay.
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do sometimes.
Yeah. Because once
including living
my
with
son
5
took
hookers.
him, that's when I just let go. I just let go. I let go of trying to find another place to live. The place I was living in, I just walked away from it and this and that. And it's like, I didn't want no place to live. I had freedom.
Yeah,
So,
I get that. Man, I learned a lot of this guy. I'm still hung up on the living with 5 hookers thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
he said he lived with 5 women. He lived with 5 hookers.
Yes,
he did.
He just said 5 women. I'm glad you were able to shine a little light about that. Cause now I get to
came over there. What all these? Ooh wee.
Now he says he's been single, and this is another one of his questions. He says he's been single for about a decade.
Yes.
Yeah. Which, okay. That's that can be an accomplishment after living with 5 women. Yeah, you should be single for about a decade. Let it all clear out your system. All right, so I have one. Go ahead.
Okay, so now I told my son, I said the right woman is going to come along. But he's right now, his main focus is his daughter.
Okay.
His main focus is his daughter.
Yeah,
So he have to make sure she's okay and make sure she grow up to be the woman that she's supposed to be.
Right.
Make sure that she grow up and a man treat her the way she's supposed to be treated. That's why he treats her the way he treats her. She is his first man. The first man in her life is him. It's always going to be your father in this
Right,
man.
exactly.
So he say he's going to be there for her.
Yeah.
And if he have to put his life on hold to make sure she's okay, that's what you do.
Yeah, that's what you got to do.
That's what you got to do.
It's funny. So I have a 3-year-old daughter. Her name's Annalisa.
Hey, Annalisa. Shout out.
Beautiful little girl. Love that little girl. Girl's crazy, though. She's a mix between me and my wife. I always say she looks like me but acts like my wife. And so all the craziness I blame on my wife. Anytime my daughter does anything, they're like, where'd she get that from? I'm like, that's because of you. Where'd you think that's from? But it's funny to me how much my little girl watches everything I do. And I'll just catch her like around the house, like, I'm a relatively tall guy and I stretch a lot, and I'll just catch my daughter just doing stretches or whatever like that. And I'm like, what? Why are you doing this? And it's like I said, it's funny because your little girls, they pay so much attention to and so much detail into everything that their fathers are doing, to even the way I talk and everything, laughing and all that kind of stuff. And my wife is like, man, she was like, that is you. They say her name's Annalisa. My mom always says we should have named her Antoinette because she's basically a spitting image of me. It's hilarious. So on the topic of kids and everything, I have one last question for you. This one was a shocker to me. So the other ones, they were wild. I was like, yo, this is crazy. This one is a bit of a shocker for me because this was a story that Darrell was sharing with me, but it wasn't, I couldn't believe it. So you had Darrell, you were around 16 years old, right?
17.
17 years old. Okay.
Yes, I did. I was 17 years old. I'm sorry. Let me sit up. Yes, I was 17.
You're 17 years old. Okay. So there's a story that Darrell was sharing with me that after you had him at the hospital, you actually left the hospital and left him there. Is that true?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's true. I had my first child when I was 15. Okay, if anybody watching this, this is not tears of sadness. This is tears of joy. This is tears of over how I overcame. But I had my first son when I was 15. And I got pregnant again when I was 16, but I actually had him 16, 17. So, and I was homeless when I had my first child. So I'm homeless, pregnant, in East St. Louis, Illinois. My second child, I had an accident, a van accident. They took me to the hospital.
Okay.
They took me to the hospital because I had a C-section. When I woke up, they told me I had a boy. I knew the baby was coming sooner or later.
Right.
So I had a boy, and then his name was supposed to be Morel because my first son name is Midell.
Okay.
So I was trying to name him Eminem Morel because I love M&Ms.
Okay.
So, but my sister used to go with a guy named Morel.
Okay.
So every day that they was fighting, and she said, "Don't name him after that so-and-so and all this and all that." So all I could think of was Darrell.
All right.
Because it's a lot of D's in our family. But back to the truthfulness. The next day, I just left the hospital. I had a child. I didn't know what to do with him.
Right.
I didn't know no better.
I got you.
And so when so by the grace of God, I got him back when he was 2 years old. Because I was married to my first husband. Yes, I've been married twice, y'all. Married to my first husband. And I got him back when he was 2 years old. But he was in my mother's custody. The court gave him to my mother, not me.
Okay.
But he was physically with me.
Gotcha.
So I got him back when he was 2 years old. And that's why I call him special. Because he was quiet. And I didn't know him and he didn't know me.
Right.
But when he grew up, we talked about it. And I just told him, I said, "You look just like your father." And there was 3 of us pregnant at the same time. Got pregnant trying to hold on to a man that didn't work out. And I still ended up homeless.
Yeah. When you say 3 of us, who are
3 girls.
Okay.
Was pregnant about his daddy at the same time.
Ah, got you.
Okay. So I had him. I woke up. They told me I had a boy. I saw the baby, Darrell. He looked like his father. When they took him back to the wherever you put the babies at, infirmary, whatever, where you know they put in where all the babies go. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I got myself together and I left the hospital. I never looked back. But like I said, God don't make no mistakes.
Right.
Thank God that He's back into my life. There's no way you can just walk off and leave a baby in the hospital and end up back with him. They give him back to you.
Exactly.
So I explained to him that he looked like his father. I didn't have no place to go in this and that. I didn't know what to do in this and that. I didn't know no better. But today, I love both of my children with all my heart. I would die for both of my children. Yeah. I lived through my children. So.
That's right. That's that. That's a...
he has forgiven me. God has forgiven me. I have forgiven me.
Right.
And I don't look back.
Right. You can't.
But sometimes I think, what if I hadn't never got him back?
Right, exactly.
And one time, I was here in California, and I was living with my mother. And I used to catch the bus. I used to always go back and forth from here to East St. Louis, here to East St. Louis. So I caught the bus from East St. Louis to California. And I'll stop at the bus stops and call my mom and this and that. Everything fine. So I actually got to L.A. and I called my mom and she said, "Where the baby at?" I said, "What baby?" She said, "You had a baby?" I said, "No, Mama ain't had no baby." She said, "Yes, she did." And I told my mama what I did with the baby and this and that. And my mama said, "We don't do that." So I was so embarrassed. I stayed up in L.A. for a minute, for a little while, days, whatever. And then my mama finally told me to come home. So when I came home, I was at my mama's house. And my mama, she was the big old woman. And so I went in the bathroom and I took a bunch of pills. And so after I took the pills, trying to kill myself, I went in there and told my mama. And like I said, my mama was a big old woman. My mama went in the bathroom. Look at what I took. She went back into her room. My mama do not go anywhere unless she is dressed. Middle of the night, my mama, she got fully dressed. Then took me to the hospital.
Oh, wow.
And my mama say, "Fool, you ain't did nothing but took my potassium pills." So, but we still went to the hospital. And then after that, I I started working. I started looking for my son.
Yeah.
And then I went back to East St. Louis again because I was married. I was married. I got married June 9th, June 12th. I left.
Okay.
My husband said, "Why you married me then?" I said, "Because I was homeless."
Oh, wow.
So I kept going back and forth. And then my husband, his brother is a lawyer, and he helped me look for my son. We actually found my son, and da-da-da-da. And my mama signed for him. My mama got him back, but he was actually in my custody.
Okay.
So that's that.
Yeah. That's, man.
But that's one of the hardest things I had to do was to explain to my son that I do love him. I do love him.
Yeah. I bet he knows that by now.
Yes.
He knows that. And like I said before, it doesn't matter how many times, you know, how many different mistakes or different issues, whatever. Like, God brought you through.
Yes.
And that's what you hold true.
Yeah.
That's what you hold on to. That's the only way that you can reconcile, and the only way that you can, you know, move forward and everything, and then make a change in your life for the better. Make a change in your life that, you know, that allows you to be able to look back at that, and now you're able to help people that may be struggling with certain things because you've been through so much. You've had such a story. You were talking about, you know, thinking about writing a book before, right? You're like, these stories and this experience that you had, so many people that may either know somebody or maybe dealing with certain things like that, or everybody has a situation, everybody has a story, everybody has a past, but how you overcome that, how you know that you didn't give up and that you're here today, that is a blessing. And I am very, very thankful that you took out the time to sit and talk with us and chat and tell us this story and share so much about yourself. But I understand it puts you in a vulnerable state, and you talked how nervous you were before. But I will say it has been my pleasure having you on this podcast today. So I have one last thing. If you were to give your message to the world, or what you would tell somebody, tell the people, a message to the people out there, in all of your experience and everything like that, what would you tell people? In all your experience and everything you've learned, what would you share with people?
That's like 2 different questions all in one.
Gotcha.
But my message to the world is that now that I'm got all this free time on my hand, and now I really want to get into doing the book, but God will tell you when it's the right time. It might take 30, 40, 50 years because it's been 20-some years and it ain't came out yet. Yeah. But I am here willing to help anybody or share my information, my story with anybody who need an uplifting truth. Yes. Not just gibberish, uplifting truth. And people ask me, how did you get... When I was working, people will ask me, how did you get clean and sober and this and that? How did you overcome this? Because I have a sister who doing this. I have a family member who doing this. And all I can tell them is by the grace of God. Yeah. That's all I can tell them, by the grace of God. Nice. But anybody who see this podcast and anybody who want to know more, anybody who want help, or anybody who wants me to do anything, all they got to do is just reach out.
How somebody reach out to you?
Once you see this, you'll inbox me and I'll give you my phone number. But I'm just on Facebook. Okay. Sugar at yahoo.com, and it's SUGAH. Okay. And my grandkids, my oldest grandson gave me that. Okay. Sugar. Okay. I don't know Instagram and all that and snap. But our shirts are WWAJ. Wait a minute, slow down. WWAJ22 at yahoo.com. Okay. As for our Christian t-shirts, and nice. I can't be giving my phone number out. Too many crazy people out there. That's fine. So if y'all reach out to me and this and that, because I'm willing to help. And just like each one reach one, it's this lady. Last thing, it's this lady. I don't know why I keep passing by her. Because I pass by her every time I hit the freeway, and I want to get involved with her and get to help her, because I want one person that I can help from beginning to end. Yeah. Just like if you want to get high and this and that, or if you want to take a drink and this and that, we will hold on to you until that feeling passes, because you're going to have them feelings. Right. 25 years later, I still have them feelings. More so now that I have idle time on my hand. Right.
I got
So I'm trying to help her, and I talk to her and this and that. Oh, she don't need no help. She don't need no help. She don't need no help. So, and I'm just looking for one person that I can help.
Yeah.
And if that one person, once I help that one person, then that one person help another person. That's how the world get better. One person at a time.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
For real people, not no fake people. Cause I was with this one other lady trying to help her. She pushing the buggy down the street. Next thing I know, we talking and I'm pushing the buggy down the street. And then I'm trying to help her. She said, she said, I like my life the way it was.
Oh, yeah?
I said, you go right ahead on then. Cause when I was out there, I liked it. My life the way it was. But God will always show you a better likeness.
Yeah, that's great. Well, thank you again, Mamma TAGE. Thank you so much
You're
for
welcome.
joining
This was
us
really
today.
fun.
I love it. It was great. I appreciate it so much, and I hope you all got something out of that. I hope you like, share, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining us. Y'all be easy.